5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban. Second team ban. OG's turn to ban. Team ban. OG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Yeah, I think it's just Navi's draft was a little bit lopsided. The Viper didn't really have a good response to the Naga, and I don't know that matchup, so I didn't anticipate it, but they really did force that out, and I don't think Dendi is much of a Viper player anyway, so that did not really work for them. And while the Luna can push, they never really managed to solidify any lanes because they were just run over by the Night Stalker and the Earthshaker, the dual lane there, and then the dual lane and the safe lane with the Gyro. It felt like OG were playing a faster pace and getting a little bit more map control. And I feel like if Na'Vi want to respond to that, they need to get stronger lanes and they need to have stronger roam as well. The Dark Willow and the Rubik were not enough. And I don't think Clockwork offlane he doesn't use the farm well enough.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah. These are the similar bans to last time, except they banned the Prophet out instead, and you can see why they banned the Prophet, just like LGD was banning the Prophet against Meneski. It's a good hero. Grant in the mainstream was saying that Prophet Fly was probably the MVP. I don't think it was the MVP, but he did a lot that game, and he can really scale well as a 5-position support. He has a lot of room to jungle in between waves, and with the Jar and the Prophet, they did not need to devote almost any time from the Prophet to harass the Clockwork. They just said like, oh yeah, okay, Clockwork, you're going to have a free lane, but we don't believe in Clockwork offlane, and they were right. I don't think Clockwork offlane is a big thing right now.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Witch Doctor.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
Absolutely insane. I mean, people still level it up, but having 52nd on level 1 Maledict is pretty crazy. I mean, by the time you level that Maledict, I mean, use it, you know, you might even be level 3. So it's hard to make use of that level 1 Maledict constantly without fearing that you want to level it up and get that lower cooldown by the time that it's back up again. And I think
10
Mm,
seconds
mhm.
remaining. 5 seconds remaining. AG's turn to ban.
So all of those add up to being a pretty big difference. Especially the fact that, he sits at level 3 for a long time in the game. I don't think it's the worst. I
10
think
seconds
a lot of the
remaining.
people on the panel were saying that hero got dumpstered. I don't think he
5
got
seconds
dumpstered, but
remaining.
I think he's significantly less good at the start now, and that's sort of where you want him to be good. So I am surprised to see OG pick him up. But these teams really like to pick their supports first.
Radiant team pick.
Well, Jaro is still in the pool, as is Luna, the 2 position 1s of the previous game. Could do. It could do. The panel were making interesting points on Na'Vi that they saved their last picks for their cores almost exclusively, but they continually pick the same stuff.
5
And I
seconds
think
remaining.
that's a little bit of the problem of their draft, is that they save these core picks and pick Viper and things that aren't really, you're saving counters and then you're not countering anything. So we'll have to see what they pick up here, because it's going to be really important. And see, I feel like this is an issue. You're picking a Razor not to counter anything. This maybe is too early. The opposite problem, Razor is a hero you pick up against very specific lanes, and now OG will be happy to not pick the heroes that Razor, goes up against.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're thinking, and they're also probably happy to save their counters for later. Now that the Razor has been revealed, they know what PL is going to go up against in that sense. Now, there are 2 core picks left to go, but I don't know how much emphasis Na'Vi gives on their 3. General doesn't necessarily get a huge amount of farm, because Lil, he's a bit of a greedy 4. He gets a decent amount of farm, and the offlane always suffers for that. I like the Legion, though. I'm a big fan of Legion in general, but I think she's particularly good against PL with the Q. Now, if PL gets too much, though, he can definitely overrun her. So they're going to need to devote, I think, at least a little bit of support to this Legion, because also Tusk is still a threat to any melee hero, and Maledict is still a spell, even if the cooldown's on 50 seconds.
Radiant team ban.
Dark Seer.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban.
I think this is more about AoE teamfight control rather than an initiation issue. They can still choose to pick someone who can initiate in the mid lane. They're not that common, but I guess they can be picked up. Darkseer received some buffs, and I think a lot of people are very close to picking him. I think the buffs on in the most recent patch 7.14 might be the buffs that push him over, but I think he's still very close. He's obviously historically been a very popular hero across the game since he was introduced and received considerable nerfs, but his ult now is a little bit better, scales better, and they automatically attack heroes they spawn from, so a little bit less micro required automatically. But it is another illusion thing on top of the Legion Commander, so she can clear those out. Even if you do get a good wall, you may just be able to clear them out anyway.
Radiant team pick.
Oh, boom, he's got it. Yeah, you've been doing pretty well.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I think well, Seb's mid pool is it's not that big, I think. So you know, you can usually expect something like the Dragonite or the Viper if they're not feeling comfortable in the mid lane. And I think they often pick those heroes because they want to sack it a little bit. And I was talking with some other casters the other day about how OG sort of popularized the idea of sacking your mid back when they were winning a lot of majors. Even with Miracle, they didn't necessarily give him a huge amount of support. They just gave them the support after the lane had already ended. And they can pick heroes that complement that, like Dragonite, like Viper. Gyro is decent, and he's got good comeback farm as well. They did the same thing with Ana. And I think they do like that prioritization of leaving the mid lane alone, but really securing your other two lanes. And I think it's good to see them do that. This is a really old sort of style from OG, and I think they're sort of finding their groove. It definitely seemed like that in the last game, but we'll have to see how they go against some of the more skilled, the best teams in the bracket, because that will really show how comfortable they are at the moment. Yeah, I mean, what is it? It means Razor's mid against the DK. So DK not too fussed about that, but Razor can still do really good in that lane. So at least that's secure. The Sven S4, I mean, the Iron Shell is not the spell it used to be, and Sven can easily deny those, but it's still good. And if they devote maybe the Tusk to it, I think they can still do work in the Darkseer lane. So I'm not sure. The Sven, I guess, needs a BKB for one. And then eventually that will get to 5 seconds. And Dragonite's stun is 3 seconds. I feel like, yeah, you are right. I'm not too sure about this Sven pick.
In strength is victory.
So sweet.
Just what I've been waiting for.
No, I think I'm fine, but you know, we're not in Europe, so.
So sweet.
Does it ever strike you that we could be chatting in the all chat right now? I'm never gonna say anything. I'm too shy, but I could. Oh, all right. Relax, relax. Two smokes pass each other. Completely mirrored movements right there. Yeah. Tusk just placed his.
The battle begins.
And yeah, on OG, on the die side, we've got Fly on the Witch Doctor. Seb is going to be playing the DK. On the Tusk is Jerax. He's actually blocked up the creeps a little bit there. Nice. He's been going to be playing with the PL, which is played by No Tail. And S4 is going to be playing the Dark Deer. Ooh. He just got 2 denies from that wave, though, and one of them was the range creep. I'd be feeling pretty good about that one if I was Dendy. Yep, General's already moved to the bot lane. And Jerax will be coming as well. Where's he going? Is he going to... S4 just moved from mid, Surge, to try and take on the... Okay, he's moving. They're transferring Seb to mid, and S4 is going to go top. They really wanted the Darkseer against the Razor, and they want the DK against the Sven. Is Sven moving as well? This is definitely musical lanes. I feel like... I guess DK just can't function against the Razor, and even though Darkseer isn't great against Razor, it's better than DK against it. Okay, now they're TPing Razor back. Surely they don't switch again. But they could. Nah, I think they're doing just fine. Surely. Oh my goodness. He can take this time to get, like, pretty big part of the wave, though. See, that brief period of getting the one rune, that means he takes 2 ranged creeps instead of getting probably neither. They've finally solidified. They're like, okay, this is just how it's gonna go. Nobody has TPs up anymore. I think if Razor just has better timing, then he's better off. But it's hard to last hit against the Darkseer because his auto attacks do a lot of damage. 65 at level 4, and he's got a Quelling Blade as well. So he's got the bottle now, moving into the Soul Ring. These Iron Shells are not going to stop. The 50-second Maledict. Oh, 40 seconds, 40 seconds. Again, 2 mangoes. The pros are frothing on this. Yeah, they changed wand. I think Seb is probably feeling pretty safe, even though... Should he be? Perhaps. Who knows? I feel like he's quite secure in this lane. They have a lot of physical damage. He's got 900 health, 10 armor, 10 HP regen. I don't think he's going to struggle. Oh, here it goes, though. They have the damage from the storm. Oh, he interrupted. See?
Radiant are scanning.
Really hard for Sven to stay in a lane with the dragon form up. He's so quick. But that's 3 heroes that they've zoned out with just the dragon form.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I think the 2 styles that we've seen in the last game feel very Secret 2.0. No tail.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Double snowball, double ion shell is... Woo, that's a lot of damage.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, I think No Tail definitely underestimated the physical damage that was coming out. Yeah. You actually die when your health reaches 0. Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He's so quick. He's got phase boots now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Is Seb though? I didn't even think about that. The Razor Purge on the Ion Shell.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It is a great trade for Na'Vi, and it's actually put them in the net worth lead. Yeah, he needs a lot of farm to be able to actually support them and carry them through this game. He is leading the net worth though, and that is step 1. Yeah. Lou's priming up some more spirits. Ooh. He's gonna get it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Not gonna get the last hit.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
That's not how it works, is it? You need to get a last hit. It's extra gold, otherwise it's just wasted. Meanwhile,
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
yeah. The Razor, yeah, the purge is fantastic because every 5 seconds you're just probably going to purge off the Iron Shell, but you have to hope that it hits something with Iron Shell on it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
The tomato is just hurting people all over.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, that's another jewel. 30 jewel damage at 12 minutes. Not too bad. I'd be feeling pretty good. And he is going to go the Blade Mail first as well, which is what I do on my Legion Commander. Now I feel a little bit better about myself. Oh, misses the vacuum.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I think Lil's gonna die here. That's a big maledict. Got one. There it is.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I think this is just a game built for Legion Commander to do well. And I like this decision coming out from General. He's got the Blink Dagger instead of the Blade Mail because he's already got 40 damage on the board. I think that's a really great decision here. Lil. He has 3 people behind him if they're going in. Oh. Did they not smoke up there? I'm pretty sure they did. Fight over the ancient stacks. Na'Vi are going to take that pretty quickly, the Master Manus, but they might actually get the Venge for it. if they should re-engage. I don't know. Oh, Razor almost goes down to the Maledict, but not quite. I think OG just needs to cut their losses. I feel like if they were playing like last game, they wouldn't have taken any of these fights, and they would have gotten the top T1. Instead, they've been sort of... the team fight synergy between Na'Vi has been great. Anytime someone gets stunned, they immediately get purged by the Legion Commander. The Razor has the purge for the Ion Shell. They have the Jewel to take care of, you know, the Witch Doctor channel. There's a lot of options that they have in these team fights, especially early game, and OG, I feel like, haven't respected that. I think it's also important to mention that Darkseer doesn't use his net worth as effectively as other cores, and I think when he's up like this, 6,500, he's got a load of net worth. Not a lot of that is actually being translated into team fight impact. So important to notice that I think this is pretty solidly in Na'Vi's way right now, especially the fact that Darkseer doesn't have his ult, and he probably won't for a while. Well, he hits pretty hard, and plus 90 damage on that level 10 talent is no joke. Yeah, 200. That's a Necro 3. They do end up getting the Razor over here, though, and they have maneuvered 4 heroes here. Dendi is just hiding. I think he knows something's up. He's got the Yules for the purge and the move speed. Yeah, they might end up just...
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Which is surprising because I feel like Dendi knew. He was playing very defensive, but yet they choose to trade the T1 for the T2. I mean, that's if they get the T1. God's Strength has been popped as well, so they might choose to wrap around. There's Jerax.
Middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh no. This is how bad team fights are made. No wall. No wall. If he had a wall there, maybe they could have done something. Now I understand. I don't blame him for not leveling the wall. I think OG just shouldn't fight until they have it. I don't think you need to. Like, what's the point of vacuum if you're not comboing it with the Centaur stun, which has just died? You don't have a wall. You didn't actually use the death wall. And Dragon Knight, I feel like he doesn't do enough damage to make the splash from his dragon form worth it just for the vacuum. Not yet, exactly right.
Command from the shadows.
Oh, the Yules. That, I think, was exactly what they needed. The defusal there gets them the purge to be able to get those kills. Spen not being there was really big as well. But it is another Jewel onto the Legion Commander. She's at 74 Jewel damage now. I gotta say, I don't think I'm a big fan of her getting the armlet. I feel like Blade Mail would have been a much better choice. Especially considering that they went the 8 strength talent. When you get the 8 strength talent, you get 160 or like more like 180 extra health. That works really well with the Blade Mail. So I guess the idea is that now you get the Blade Mail alongside the armlet. But if you're already snowballing, you don't need the extra damage. What you need is a discouragement for more initiation. And you need a little bit of extra reflection onto multiple targets rather than the armlet for the single target. Yeah, I think it is. Oh, there's a lot on the courier. Look at that. That's absolutely loaded. He's letting it go back. He needs something else off of it. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, that courier usage was absolutely mangled. But, you know, he's a hard-working courier. He's a good donkey. Oh, not Legion as well. Oh, that was close.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
There it goes, just hit him.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Dire.
That was so... I think if Legion dies there, they can force a buyback and potentially even get a rack. So those are the two options, either or. Maybe you poke the T3 for the buyback. I feel like you can get the buyback either way, but now Na'Vi are going to turn around and get it instead, and they take it so quickly. Oh my god! Crystallize is very farmed here. He's got the BKB on 10 seconds. Aegis, Blink, Mask of Manus, Echo Saver. He's a scary boy. I don't know. I feel like the Orchid is really good against the PL here. We might see him pick that up just for the extra, you know, utility to disable. The mana regen is also good. You can spam your stun a little bit more. Yeah, not getting away this time. Yeah, she's been a bit slow on the farm, and I think that's understandable. He's closing in on the Assault Cuirass on Seb. That's going to be pretty good against the Sven. That armor is very helpful. Yeah. Oh, he still got it off, though. I think he was a bit cheeky there in timing it. Nearly. It's 88 damage on the Legion. She's got an armlet, so she is prepared. She can push quite quickly with the armlet, the press the attack, and with Sven as well. God strength, that's all it takes. Oh yeah, no, they'll save that for a fight for sure. They are pushing in, and DK pushes quickly. They got Fly, though. They are going to kill Dendi here, though, probably. Oh, S4 cancels the TP. Yeah, they get one up in terms of dodging the fight with the Aegis because they know they can't take that fight. I think that was actually a really impressive decision to make. And they end up actually getting better out of it. Their range racks are still alive. Well, they got the Razor buyback as well. Razor died and bought back. So pretty close, I would say. I'd give them the edge because they got the Razor buyback, even though the Tusk bought back. They lost one more, but the buyback on a core is more important. I have to say I was very scared for OG when that push started because they can't respond, and I think Na'Vi know that they have a really strong timing right now, and I like that they're getting aggressive. They're going straight. They have the Aegis still. I think it might expire soon, but they're getting as much as they can with this Aegis up. And if it actually gets used, I think they'll be feeling pretty good. And if OG will notice. Yeah, so there it goes. He's put the Orchid in his inventory and they're backing off. Oh, Shiva's. think the name of the game there is two gigantic items were picked up just before that fight. The AC and the Shivas. Two items that you get to counter their entire team. And they got both at the same time. And you can see, even though I feel like they won that fight with ease, even though they got the duel off. And that's because...
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
No, S4 just gets the Shivas off before the duel comes up. And that helps them so much.
Tower has fallen.
They're playing this very defensively as well. Plus 14 damage.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
He does that extra 14 damage. You know, it's helpful. You're not gonna complain about extra damage.
Radiant's top shrine has fallen.
Yeah, I think right now we were talking about how impactful is net worth and what is it actually contributing to your teamfight impact. And through the AC and the Shivas, that is doing a lot more than, say, the armor and the BKB on Legion, I think. And also Elder Titan has a BKB as well. These net worths, it's a lot to be countering these specific things. And I don't know how much impact that's going to have in fights. Obviously, BKB is fantastic, but when you've got a lot of armor and protection from Shivas and AC, being resistant to magic isn't exactly the most helpful thing when you don't have enough damage in the first place. And I think that's what they're going to suffer from as this game continues. Razor might struggle to output damage. He's got a completely defensive build, Yule's Hood and BKB.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Flashbacks to LGD and Mineski.
Is a great conductor.
Straight into the static storm. I think yeah, I maybe would have preferred something like a Skadi or a Butterfly. The extra health can go a long way, and I think they've got the snowball save. Feel like Jerax has, yes, he does have the Blink Dagger now. So the snowball save is actually much easier to get off than it was before. So I don't think they should be too worried about getting the Lincolns. More raw health might have been advisable, or even a Butterfly, because a lot of their damage is coming from that auto attack. But with the Bloodthorn closing in, the Butterfly going to be less effective. Yep. This is when you start seeing their cores just split up. I feel like they choose to make that. No, they're going to choose to stay at the racks. They feel like they can fight this one, especially with Razor being bot. I think it's great for chasing down fast heroes like the Razor and the Sven. That's so telegraphed. What is going on? Maybe for the Silver Edge? I don't know. That was such a puzzling move from Na'Vi. Crystallize being, I think, one of the standout players on the team recently, ends up just acting like an AI boss. There goes LeBron or AFK. Now. Yeah. As long as they check it, which they are. Do you feel like Roshan is being taken much more quickly than in previous patches? He seems very weak. I feel like he's only received buffs, and we've seen these quick Roshas consistently in a bunch of lineups. Yeah, see, it is 35 minutes and it's quick. But like the other games, I felt like it was 20 minutes with the gyro and they were just absolutely chunking it down. Yeah, great. I love when players do that. Just the threat. They're showing you that you can't use that ability. Because pros are the quickest people to take advantage of when an ability is used. If you see it used, boom, straight onto something else. Pros are very good at that with TPing and things like that. But when you prep them with the animations and sort of intimidate them, it's very difficult to actually get the upper hand in an engagement like that. That is a gorgeous set, by the way. That dragon looks so cool. Bot lane, Jewel. That's a big one. Real quick, Sven is we can talk about talents for a second. Sven is approaching that level 25. No tail, very deep. Yeah, I mean, he did it with the Shadow Blade. Knows he can just dive straight onto tower because the others are showing. Sven, yeah, getting very close to that level 25. We look at PL. He's on the level 23, getting close. That -7 seconds on the Doppelganger cooldown, or 30% critical strike. Both are great options for him. And DK also approaching that level 25, which is a fantastic one. 40 strength or 1.75 seconds on the Dragon Tail. I have a feeling he'll go the 40 strength now. That extra health is phenomenal. Oh. Taking their mana. These PL illusions, they can't get rid of them. They want to go on him. Duel goes off on the DK. BKBs are almost up. S4. Vacuum. Yeah, there it is. I was waiting for it. Yeah. The first game, super convincing. Second game, a little bit shaky, but I felt like they were always sort of in control. The trade that they did with the top racks for the bottom racks was really good. I feel like maybe they would have preferred it to be a little easier, but overall I think this is a good step for them. And Na'Vi, well, they've been in a bit of a slump recently, and I feel like they might be one of the first groups out. You know, it's hard to be, you know, it's annoying to be negative, but sometimes you have to be a realist. They need to change up their drafts, be a little bit more experimental, I think, because what they're doing right now isn't really working.